Hi everybody! Today is finally not raining, at least for a little bit, so I'm going to take advantage of the weather and go collect sticks and wood out in the forest here. And we have a lot of firewood here, but we're just kind of like foraging wood pretty much year round as we can because you never have enough and it needs to season at least a year. Depending on your year, if you have a drier year, you can get away with smaller pieces of firewood, seasoned, drying out, covered or uncovered if it's not raining, for like 6 months. We had some wood a couple years ago that we dried out in about 6 months, and it was nice and dry alder wood, but they were smaller pieces. So we're constantly cutting down older alder trees and collecting firewood and making piles everywhere. But this year we ran a little bit behind, and you really kind of need to be a couple years ahead of time when collecting firewood because, like I said, it needs to season. So we are kind of behind. We have plenty of firewood this year, but we're really gonna have to kind of bust our behinds this spring and summer getting firewood ready for the next couple of years. Anyway, I just figured I would make a wood foraging video. I'm not going to be cutting down any trees today, but I will be splitting some kindling and showing you a couple of axe hatchet kind of combos. One that's really cheap because we got it for free, and then a couple of others, and how I kind of store wood wherever I can in our small interior space. And also, my friend gave me this really awesome, it's a sail, like for a sailboat. Actually, I think it's called something else. It's not a full, like, giant sail. It's, I don't know the terminology, but it's really heavy duty, awesome canvas. And he had wanted me to sew him some bags for his sailboat, but I'm gonna have excess material, and he just said, do whatever you want with it. So I figured I'd make a little wood collecting kind of satchel. I'll probably just kind of cut out a rough shape in the fabric right now and then go back later and sew something, maybe sew some handles on so I can just lay it flat on the ground, pile my wood in, and then pick it up and hold it like a wood handbag. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll go collect some sticks over yon. Okay, so it's got an odd shape to it. I folded it in half. It's got some nice grommets and hooks and things in here, so I will fashion this into a stick collecting bag of sorts. And I'll go back later. I just want to kind of test it out with the fabric now and see how I like it, and then I'll kind of make modifications. I'm going to rip this off because it's already torn. Maybe I can use that for a handle or something. Okay. These almost look like they could be pants or something. I'm going to save this grommet in this corner because that might be useful. So actually I'm going to cut on this side of the already created seam. I'm probably going to have to reinforce these seams. I can see that some of the stitching is coming out. Okay, I'll just use this as it is now, and then make changes after I come back. Just kind of hold it like that. Okay, so I have my canvas fabric here, and I'm going to take you on a little journey into the woods, and I'm hoping to find some hair ice. We have a little magical section of the woods that specifically, it's this one little spot where hair ice forms, so I'm hoping it'll be there. little sample today. But the theory is that the hair ice is attributed to a type of fungus in dead wood. And I have some really cool pictures on my Instagram page. You can go ahead and follow me on that if you want, that I took a couple of years ago of hair ice. I think I have 2 images of that on my Instagram. And I'll put the link is below the video, but yeah, it's pretty impressive. I've come out here some mornings and it's all over the place and it's pretty cool. Okie dokie, there is a spot right here. Well, this whole area, this is an old logging road on the property, and there is tons of hemlock, Douglas fir, and there's some alder here too. I like to save the alder for barbecuing, but I like the hemlock because it tends to dry out pretty quick. So, and there's these branches. My dad came out and there was a old hemlock tree that fell across the road, and so he went ahead and cut that, and there's a bunch of branches here. So I'm gonna go ahead and take these and load up my canvas here. So it's a small little carrier for twigs and stuff. Next time I go up there, I'll probably just bring the wheelbarrow up with me. I can get more, and then maybe I can pile another one of these guys on top of that. All right, I'm gonna split some wood from our wood pile that is not very seasoned. I think it's just been sitting in a pile for a few months, maybe 5-6 months. And I'm gonna show you a couple axes. So there's this nice Fiskars axe. This is the number 27. This is an excellent, this is my favorite as far as getting the job done and cutting through segments about this size and even smaller, but gosh, even a little bit bigger. It just goes through like butter. So let's see. I'll just do this one real quick. And I have it stacked on another stump. I'll show you from a different angle. I mean, I hardly put anything into it, so. And you can see this wood is still quite green. I mean, it's red, but it's green in the sense that it is not very seasoned. Let's compare. This piece of wood is much better seasoned, and you can feel, well, let's see, you can feel the difference too. This one's a lot heavier than this one. This one could actually be a little more dry, you know. So I like to cut the pieces into sizes about like this, or maybe even one more cut, and then I stack them. I have places where I have a system going on with the cabin. I'll show you that. This is another Fiskars hatchet. It's the number 7. It's really, really lightweight. And it's great for making kindling. And it could also be something you could take camping or hiking or whatever. If you're into outdoorsy stuff and you want to make some kindling. Ugh. I have to grunt when I bend over now. A lot of this wood has a lot of knots in it, so kind of, it's not making nice straight cuts. Get your hand out of the way. My husband gets really mad when I'm doing this stuff, so, and I'm like, I'm fine, but I'm just doing it to be safe. Whoop. It's because of this knot. That's why it's not going through. And this thing is really lightweight. Here, let me show you with a different one. This is the one that I use most. And it's actually just this old school, I mean, it's been here at the cabin. It was hanging up on over the door for a long time. It's super dull. Hopefully you can see it. It's super dull. And I was like, this isn't going to be very helpful, but I use it all the time and it actually does a great job for smaller stuff. So let's see. It's a little better. It's just heavier than the Fiskars. Oh, bloody. Whatever. It's a knot, so it's small enough. Here. Let's do this one. Gotta get it to balance. Another YouTuber, actually, it was Salty Shellback, did a video where he put a tire around and then put a bunch of pieces of wood in there and split them, and it kept them from flying all over the place, which is pretty cool. I just don't want to have a tire lying around. That's the only reason I don't do that. I've got so much trash here, it's starting to make me go insane. So no tire for me, but if you're willing to do it, it might serve you well. I'm gonna try this one. Oh, I want to keep this guy. No, I'll try it. Let's just try it. It's got a big old knot in it. But usually when you have a segment of a log and you're gonna split it, there's always, especially in alder, actually, this is a piece of hemlock, but in alder you'll see a little split in the middle of the rings of the wood, and you align your axe with that hairline split. Let me show you what it looks like. It's usually near the center of the rings, but right here is a little split. So you want to align the blade up with that. Let me show you another one. Once you segment logs, so as you can see, there's a bunch of cracks right in the middle. And pick any one, just align yourself up the blade with either this one or those, and it'll split a lot easier for you. Here's a nice one. Right there, right in the middle, big old crack. And this size, I'd probably use a wedge and a big old hammer to break it in half. But once you segment it up in a couple pieces, you can start using a regular axe, like that Fiskars axe. That's what that axe is for. So if you need to, you can kind of measure beforehand. Chop that off. That's good. There we go. And the key is, you don't have to be that strong to do this. The key is, hit it as if you're gonna hit down here. So strike the wood, like follow through. You don't just want to hit it like, or wait, you know, you want to hit it as if you're gonna hit the top of your chopping stump. Let me cut it a little bit more. Okay. You don't want to follow through and chop your legs off. So you got the little hatchet, good for lightweight things and kindling, taking on camping trips. The big one, the 27, it's got a nice heavy axe head, and it really melts that wood like butter. And then this guy is just the one I use most frequently because it doesn't have a sheath These guys have little sheaths on them that I haven't put away and stuff, but this one, pretty much the most convenient one for small jobs like this. Cut this one a little smaller. I'll use the old one. So uneven. Okay, well, I didn't get too much done, but it's about to rain, so I need to get these inside and get my piles covered up, and I will show you what I have set up next. Alright, so here is everything kind of set up on the inside. Most of the twigs that I got, all the sticks and stuff, are outside on the porch. It's just kind of dark out there, but I have them all broken up and piled out there. And then I have wood piled up in the corner to let it dry. And then I have these small pieces here right next to the wood stove. And you know, obviously I don't leave them there if I'm gonna go. I'm here watching them. But I have them split pretty small, allows them to dry out quicker, and I got this fire going really hot, so let's see. I mean, the wood that's in the fire is dry wood, so that's going pretty well. And this place heats up very quickly. Close this. So yeah, these just dry out, and I'll use these tonight in my fire, and I will use the rest of the wood over the next probably day or so. I go through it pretty quickly, and then I'll start over again every few days. Just bring more wood in, let it dry out some more, and kind of leave some wood drying out there if you need to. I have lots of dry wood now, but if you're in a pinch, you know, our first year out here, we didn't have a lot of firewood, so we had to kind of speed dry. I call this speed seasoning, which people who are living similar to this would be like, oh my gosh, that's such a blasphemous thing to say. You cannot speed season wood. It has to be seasoned properly outdoors over months and months. And well, sometimes you find yourself in a little pinch, so you got to do what you got to do.